When the weather starts to get a little chilly, that's when I love to get into the kitchen and cook. And on today's show, I'm going to show you a few of my favorite recipes. With my student Stella, we're going to make some roasted game hens stuffed with wild mushrooms and prosciutto di Parma. So don't go anywhere. We're gonna have some fun in the kitchen. You guys could have laughed at that.
Funding provided by the producers of Grana Padano, Parmigiano Reggiano, and Montasio cheese, Prosciutto di Parma, and Prosciutto di San Daniele. Behind every bite, centuries of tradition.
This is my student Stella, and she's here to cook with me. We are going to have so much fun in today's cooking class.
Yes, we are.
We are. So that was a crostini. Now we're going to be making some roasted Cornish game hens. So we're going to kind of make a stuffing. Okay. We're going to start, look at this mixture of wild mushrooms that we have.
Wow.
Start with the chanterelles. Take your small knife,
okay,
and we're going to trim these a little. They're really pretty clean, but if they're damaged like this, you can just cut that off.
Okay.
And then I can see right here, there's a little bit that can be cut off. Do you want to do that one?
Sure.
So I just cut off the damaged parts. There's one end. Do you want to do that end?
Sure, I would love to.
I like to give you some jobs to do.
Okay. And I like to take the jobs.
What's your favorite thing to make, Stella?
I love to make probably pasta with Swiss chard and an egg on top.
Okay.
It's probably my favorite.
Wow, when I come visit you, you're gonna have to make that for me.
I will.
Okay, perfect. No one ever cooks for me. I would love that. All right, so what we can do is let's get all of them ready, and then we're gonna chop. These look pretty good. Maybe we just trim the stems a little bit, a little like that.
Now, do you have to scrub these too?
If they're dirty, yes, you can take that damp towel and wash those off too. Just brush them off, I should say. And then we have all of these.
Right, now how would you cut these?
These we're gonna chop just like the other ones. I know they look kind of like they're out of some scary movie. All right, what we'll do first with these cremini mushrooms, that's these, we're gonna cut these into slices, just coarsely.
Okay.
And what I do, Stella, for mushrooms is I just let the weight of the knife cut right through. Let me show you again.
Okay.
Here. Take your mushroom and watch me. Just let the weight of the knife, you'll see it goes through really fast.
Yeah, that's a great way to do that.
Good. And then we can place all of these mushrooms in a pile. I think you're gonna do half and I'm gonna do half. How's that sound?
Sounds great. So are we coarsely chopping these?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Do you have too many in your pile?
I have a lot. You can take some if you want.
I'll take a little more for you.
Okay.
All right, how's that?
That's good.
All right.
It's perfect.
It's easier, I know, because I've got a bigger knife. And so what you can do, start here. See if you can start like this, yes. And first of all, just start by going like this. And what you're trying to do is kind of make it into a more manageable pile. Now what we can do is, picking up your knife, just chop them like that.
Okay.
How's that going?
Now, if some of these pieces are bigger, do we want...
You can cut them down, or if these are already chopped, let's just set those aside.
And then do
and
these.
do those, yes. Okay. Those kind of broke apart really fast.
They did. Those are the easy mushrooms.
How are yours going?
Mine are...
Want to try a bigger knife? See how it works?
Sure.
Or do you like this one?
That one's fine, but I'll try a
this.
bigger one.
Try it. Keep the tip of your knife down.
Okay.
And lift it really high. Yes. Good.
It actually cuts through a lot.
Does that feel comfortable to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I think Stella could do whatever she wants. I think she could be a doctor, she could be an attorney, and cooks are really smart too. She could be a cook as well. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is we'll take a little bit of butter, and we're going to put it into this pan that's been heated. And now I've got another thing for you to guess. It's really a quiz. It's just like school. You think you have time off, but no.
Perfect.
Okay, rub your fingers like this. Tell me what that herb is. Do you know?
I want to guess that it's thyme.
It is thyme.
Okay.
You are right. Smells good. That's a good way to smell and see if you can, to figure out what an herb is really to rub your fingers on it, smell your fingers, and you can really smell that herb. All right, so we are ready. I'm just using some unsalted butter for this. All right, Stella, I think that we can start adding those mushrooms to the pan, okay? Here, do you want to use this? It's kind of fun. This is a bench scraper or a bench, and I use it to clean and also to put everything in the pan. Makes it a lot faster.
It does, actually.
It's interesting with mushrooms because you make them, you chop them, and you think you have tons, but then they cook down, and you'll see that it won't be as much. We're gonna add some salt.
Okay.
All right, with your wooden spoon, you can stir that. And then you can also add some thyme. And then you can stir it again once you add the thyme.
Okay. Now, does it matter if it's fresh or dried?
I like to use fresh, but you could also use dry. If you are using dry, you want to use half the amount because it's more concentrated. What we're doing with the wild mushrooms is they'll give off their moisture, and then when that evaporates and they're dry again, we know they're done.
Okay.
Now we have some prosciutto. This is Prosciutto di Parma, and it'll give great flavor to the stuffing. When you're buying prosciutto, usually if you're wrapping it around melon or you're wrapping it around figs, you want the paper thin one. But this one's probably about, if you put 4 slices together, so you can see it's thicker.
Right.
And so, because we're gonna dice it or chop it. So you can just pile that on top, the pieces on top of each other. When you buy it, you can see that fat is on the edge. Don't get rid of that. And if the person in the deli doesn't give you that fat on the edge, if he's cut it off and thrown it away, any Italian would just be crazy about that. They love that on the edge. It gives so much flavor. All right, why don't I cut this in half,
okay.
And we can each do half. Take the knife and cut through like this in one direction first, and then I'll come back and slice in the opposite direction to make a fine dice. How's it going? So slice away from you. Watch this. See how I'm doing this? Just go like this, away from you, like that.
Okay.
Stella's knife skills are still developing, but the one thing that I noticed was it's almost like the counters are too high for her because it was hard for her to really get, it gives you more leverage the taller you are. So that was the one thing I think she has at a disadvantage. And you a little bit finer, yeah. So what I do is I always start at one side like this.
Okay. I cut and I chop at home, but not necessarily prosciutto and mushrooms. I sometimes chop vegetables for salads and things like that, but this will really help me with my skills.
Okay, now that the mushrooms have cooled, we can combine the mushrooms together with that chopped prosciutto. So I'll put this in the bowl, and why don't you stir those together?
Okay.
So they're really mixed well. What we're going to do now is take these game hens that have been washed, and what we're going to do is pick up the skin over the breast like this, take your hands, and you're gonna go right into that space. It's kind of fun, actually. I feel like I'm doing some kind of operation. All right, try 2 fingers, don't do all of it.
Okay.
Let me see. And what you don't want to do is make a hole. Good, keep going back, all the way back to the back. Can you do it? Good, excellent. Okay, now, I know isn't this kind of a wild process? All right,
it is.
Next what you do is you take your hand and you go over the thigh like this. That's a little harder because you have to break through that skin right there. Can you get it?
I don't know, am I supposed to?
Let me see. I think you did it, let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, you did it already. Okay. I take a small spoon like this, and I just put it right underneath. I lift up, and I get as much as I can in there. I gave you a small spoon right next to you.
Okay.
Try it. Or you can see if you like a big spoon, but I have a feeling this spoon is gonna be a little bit big. Yeah, I like the little one, I think.
I did
It's
too.
just that you have to make more trips back and forth.
Now, what exactly is the difference between a Cornish game hen and a chicken?
Oh, it's smaller. It's in the same family, but it's smaller.
Right.
All right, see how mine looks like that? And then you can kind of push that stuffing over onto the thigh. And if you have a little bit on the outside, don't worry about it. If it's on the outside of the skin, it'll still have a lot of flavor. Take the wingtips and tuck them underneath. So tuck, exactly. Maybe if you want to do one at a time, you can. Right, tuck it right underneath. And I will cut a couple pieces of string. We're gonna tie right here the little ankles together. Just tie it. And it keeps a really nice shape. That's why you do that. Excellent. All right, we have some melted butter. And what you can do is just to brush both of our game hens with melted butter. And you can just really brush them. If there's a lot on there, that's fine. Go ahead and really get some of the butter on there. Okay. That's for flavor, but also the skin will turn really golden and crispy. So sprinkle salt.
Okay.
I'll let you do yours.
Okay.
And then a little bit of pepper. And then those go into the oven. And it takes about 40 to 45 minutes to cook them.
I've never really put my hand under meat skin like a chicken or a game hen, so when I did that, that was interesting. I've never done that before.
Oh, these look good.
And smell good.
Wow, look how beautiful those are. Golden, sizzling. Oh,
Fabulous.
Those look fantastic. Aren't you proud of us?
I'm very proud of that.
Excellent. I think we've got the makings here of a fantastic chef.
Oh, thank you.
Miss Stella, the chef, Chef Stella. All right. What I'm gonna do is cut these in half. How's that with this big knife? Because sometimes going through the bone is a little bit difficult. And all right. So we'll place half on the plate, and I'll do yours, all right?
Okay.
It's really about height more than anything, and you're getting there. Do you want the big side or the little side?
I'll take the little side.
Okay. And now we have that fabulous quinoa we're gonna put on the side. Oh, it smells so good.
It does. It smells really good.
Oh, I love that. And those blueberries and apricots are gonna add some sweetness. All right, the last thing is just a little bit of parsley. So I'm gonna let you choose a sprig.
Okay.
And this is what I like to do, but you can do whatever you want. I just like to take a little bit and just, woo, that was a big one. I like to take a little piece and just place it right on the plate. Oh, yours looks gorgeous. Okay, we're ready to taste. I thought sparkling apple cider, when the weather gets a little cold, I thought this would be perfect. So let's try the fruits of our labor.
Fabulous.
All right, here you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you need a knife, but I'm diving right into the quinoa. I'm gonna get a blueberry at the same time.
The quinoa is so good.
It's really good. It's got that wonderful sweetness, and you can really taste the orange, right?
It adds a lot of pop.
Yeah, pop is a perfect word. I think that's so true.
It's so good.
So now, your assignment. I know, it's like school.
My homework was to go home and make the whole meal soon enough so that I remember all the techniques.
So you have to make these dishes this weekend for your family, all right?
Okay.
Okay, good. And you have to do them too. You have to do your homework too. That's what's gonna give you confidence in the kitchen. See you next time.
Funding provided by the producers of Grana Padano, Parmigiano Reggiano, and Montasio cheese, Prosciutto di Parma, and Prosciutto di San Daniele. Behind every bite, centuries of tradition.